The college basketball experience national championship preview and picks episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Cut. Cut is a peer-to-peer social betting platform that's US based and available in 40 different states. Head to cut.com. That's KUTT.com. Use that promo code SGPN for a 10% deposit bonus. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Play their pick'em. Play their fantasy pick'em for a chance to win 100 times the amount of money you enter in college basketball, NBA, MLB, NHL, and much, much more. Sign up today with the promo code TCE SGPN to get a 100% deposit match. We're also brought to you by the premier arbitrage sports betting tool, AVO. Yes, use their tool to bet both sides and lock in a profit. Access to their platform for free at arbsversusodds.com. Plus, in honor of Masters Week, the Golf Gambling Podcast guys are giving away a tailor-made Spider X putter for free. Enter at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/masters. And remember, as always, folks, too, let it ride.
Hey, this is Derek Stevens. I'm the owner of Circa Las Vegas. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes. Woo! Welcome to the college basketball experience national championship preview picks episode. Oh, there was only one game left. Yes. Yes and no. Yes, it's going to be great to see a champion. No, it sucks because it's the last game until November 4th. So that's a long fucking time. Get on over to YouTube, youtube.com/the college experience. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Just because the basketball season's ending doesn't mean we're not going to be producing content left and right, talking about portal coaching hires, just bananas there. We at conference races, we're going to be covering all of that stuff. And that's just on the college basketball experience. We also have the college baseball experience, which is it's season's in full swing. There was a nice fight yesterday. Loved it. And then, the road to Omaha is coming.
Quite a fight.
Yeah, but it was still a little dust up.
Yeah, there you
go. Better than nothing. Better than nothing is my point. Because you're right. It wasn't a fight, but still fun.
I will say we did a video solely just covering the dust up, and it did well. So that's the type of shit that
it always sells. It always sells.
It's healthy for sports.
Yes, it's very healthy for sports. People forget that. But yeah, we're gonna have the college football experience, the FCS college football experience, the college baseball experience rolling along, and don't forget our Frozen 4 podcast that we dropped. Check that out. As
I drilled all 4 teams in the Frozen 4 on that show.
Woo, 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 woo. So get on over there and listen to that.
Well, I don't get a damn brain, man.
Because we're rolling along, and that's not even including the Sports Gambling Podcast, the Bottom Line Bombs. I also host the UFL Gambling Podcast and the CFL Gambling Podcast. It never stops over on SGPN. So, but if you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, that's fair. My name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. I would have killed a normal man, but now that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
Play the music a little early. And I also didn't mention one experience show. But that's because I have to introduce it right now. There's a rhythm to this shit, people. I just can never follow it. I am joined by my co-host. He is the host, of the Big 12 college experience, the host of the Ryan and Rush show. Give it up for former video coordinator for Hall of Fame coach Bob Huggins and Frank Martin. Give it up for Ryan McIntyre, aka Money Line Mac. How you doing, brother?
I would like to talk about this game as much as possible and to steal a line from Dan Hurley so I don't have to fucking talk about the transfer portal anytime soon. Shout out to Dan Hurley. Great quote. Mac tonight. Come on, make it Mac tonight. It was a great quote.
It is a great quote. Is a great quote. Shout out to the chat once again. YouTube.com/college experience. I'm just gonna promote the whole episode. Yeah, I cashed in on South Carolina women's today. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them. Yeah, but I mean, here we are. We have one game left. But before we talk about the game, let's talk about this. If I put Moneyline Mac as commissioner of college basketball, what night would you play the national championship?
Sunday.
Yeah.
Like the Super Bowl. And I sure as hell wouldn't put it 9:30 Eastern on a Monday night. What the fuck is wrong with these idiots?
So I was reading an article earlier today that Sunday evening is the best window in all of sports.
Super Bowl.
Huh. I'm sorry, not even sports, television.
Yeah.
Back when they were paying like George Clooney $1 million for fucking ER and stuff. It was Sunday night. Why is this game on a Monday?
It's like college football doing theirs on a Monday night. It's fucking stupid. And oh my God, it's just, and then for them to tip it off at 9:30 Eastern. I mean, obviously we're going to watch it, but you're not getting the average viewer
are you trying to have fans?
God,
to get new fans?
And people have begged for this matchup. I mean, I haven't begged for this matchup. I really got tired of hearing about UConn and Purdue being the two best teams all year. I thought Houston was right there with them, but they got injuries. But you finally got the matchup that every TMZ fan wants, and then you throw it at 9:30 Eastern. It's like, good God, this fucking sport can't help itself.
Well, and it's even funnier because UConn is located in the Eastern time zone. Is West Lafayette? It's got to be close to it.
I think they're Eastern.
I think they're East too. I think they might be East.
They don't do what's it called when the clock goes back an hour or goes forward an hour.
Yeah, it doesn't that switch over somewhere in Indiana? I think it does.
I think Indiana doesn't do it at all.
Arizona doesn't believe in time zone switching either, or daylight savings.
So what time is it right now in West Lafayette? Can you Google that?
I think it's
9 o'clock Eastern right now.
Yeah, I'll look it up right now.
This is even funnier.
It's so dumb. It's not like we've
ridiculous.
had a fucking team from the West Coast other than Gonzaga playing a national championship anytime soon. In recent memory, it's only the Zags.
And it's the national championship. Like if you're going to the national championship, you're still taking off work because you're going to leave before that. You're not.
It's 9 o'clock p.m. Indianapolis.
Hilarious.
So yeah, it's so dumb.
So stupid. So fucking stupid. Yeah. I mean,
they don't even start regular season games this late. They're going to start.
Football does this shit too.
Yeah.
They do the Monday night. It doesn't make any sense.
Remember Washington and Texas this year? They started that bitch at like 10 o'clock Eastern. I'm like, damn, like I'm going to watch, but anybody that's got to go to work, this shit's ending at 2 a.m. Eastern.
Can someone tell me who is doing this? Who's calling the shots? I want to send them an email. But anyway, be it as it is, Purdue, UConn in the national championship. This line overnight. I just did a show on Sports Grid about 20 minutes ago, maybe 30 minutes ago. 7.5 of what's here. There's 7.5s out there now. I mean, where's this going to stop? Where's this going to stop? I haven't placed a bet yet. I'm thinking about placing it like now. Because am I going to get there's no way it goes to 8.
No.
Right? But
I don't see 7.5. I see 7.
Okay. I mean, I saw some. I mean, I was on the. I mean, I'm sure they have 7.5s out there. I'd be surprised if not from 30 minutes ago. But college football does it Monday because they don't want to compete with the NFL on a Sunday. Well, they can still do it on a Saturday. They wait a week. They don't want to compete with the NFL on a Saturday, and it's like a shitty game every Saturday. It's like the Cardinals against the Browns, right? Yeah. And it's like, who cares about you? More people will watch the national championship than that game. They're stupid. They're very stupid. So if it's at, I just want to quickly glance. If it's at 7.5, I mean, I think I'm going to buy in because I do think. Where are we at now? Game. Yeah, I see a 7 on DK.
Yeah,
but
I see the 7 as well. I haven't been really in a rush because I knew everybody and their brother would be betting on UConn because everybody loves them. Let me ask you this, Cole.
I would still wait.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to go down. I mean,
no.
People have talked themselves into UConn could be playing the Bulls, and they're going to lay the points. So last year, the national championship, the line was 6.5, 7.5 against San Diego State. You're telling me you fast forward a year, and it's the same number against Purdue, who's
been number 1 or 2 for the whole season.
Even last year, too.
Yeah, I just and you look at you look at what Purdue's done in the non-con. Their only losses in the last 3 years now is Fairleigh Dickinson and St. Pete. They're good against. They've beaten everybody. They beat Tennessee twice.
And
they
North
beat Marquette.
Texas, I think.
Yeah. Well, I said last 3.
Yeah, I think North Texas was 3 years ago. I know you're trying to help me out.
I'm trying to fucking throw you a bone.
I mean, they're still over the hump of the double-digit seed. They got over it. It was North Texas, FDU, and St. Peter's in the last 3 years. But Colby, they're undefeated in non-con.
Is this fair to say this is by far the best team UConn's played in the tournaments?
100%. Yes. And but I did enjoy someone's comment on our YouTube saying, of course Mac picked Purdue. He's only picked against UConn every game. What?
It's not true. I picked him against Stetson. Everybody can say that. I said lay 50 and they were up 50 at halftime. I fucking took San Diego State and by the way, I went back and watched Alabama again last night. And the only time UConn led by 12 or more points was under 2 minutes. So everybody fucking saying that was the easiest cover. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, those people are full of shit. I don't care what anyone says.
Yes.
Christopher Moore says, where is the best place to host the NCAA Final Four? I mean, I think the NIT did a great job. Like I don't do NFL stadiums to me. Even to watch the NFL, there's only a few like that I would do. Like Lambeau or Soldier, and Soldier they're going to just destroy or something, but or Arrowhead. But to me, you got to play into what is your product. They don't do it. It's a corporate America money fucking bullshit. They're trying to play it at fucking JC Penney. All right. Or Bloomingdale's or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? I don't even know if JC Penney exists anymore. My point is they're trying to play it at the most bullshit, soulless of place they can find because they're putting up the money. I would play it at Henkel. I would play it at the Garden. I would play it at a lot of other places before I would choose.
I think you nailed it on the head with the Garden. That's what I would choose.
Henkel's great too, though, because Indianapolis, it's big enough. The city's big enough. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, the Garden is definitely up there.
Indy's the best city because everything's so together.
And it is basketball. When you think of basketball, now the Garden fits this too, but Indiana as a state is like the basketball state. They say North Carolina and Indiana. So, I mean, I would play heavy into those. You know, I understand you would bounce around and get the whole country involved in the mix, but I sure wouldn't play it at a fucking NFL stadium. You know what I mean? I would play it at some of the more classic venues that they have out there. But that's why I'm just an idiot drinking double fist and then talking into a microphone. So So yeah, the line's at 7 though. Currently, so I will wait. I do think it will go to 7.5. It was at 7.5. Trust me, I was just on a fucking show where we talked about it at 7.5.
I've seen people say it should be 10. Like what?
Yeah. I don't think they know what they're talking about because I mean, I understand it. UConn's blown out everybody. Maybe that's the logic, but in Purdue in big games historically has been awful. Doesn't even matter the sport. It could be a fucking game of, marbles. And I feel like they would fucking lose in a big game, but I gotta take the points, man. I know we keyed in on the ref situation last night. Do you think they're going to let him play, or do you think this is going to be a tightly? Because I actually think if it's a tightly called game, it favors Purdue even more. Because I think
Hurley will lose his fucking mind.
Edey's only gotten 4 fouls called in 3 games this year, right?
Yeah.
Did I say Hurley? Edey has only gotten 4 fouls, where Clingan just stays with 4 fouls. So if we're gonna call all that crazy shit, I think that favors Purdue a little bit. It'll be interesting to see. Personally, I hope they don't. Even though am I gonna bet Purdue in the points? I am, but I just hope it's a cleaner game. I'm interested if Clingan. Here's the thing that I'm fascinated by is like, do you think Hurley? So coming into this game, they're 305th in pace. UConn is.
Mm-hmm.
Purdue's 197th, but Clingan is so good in transition. I think that's an edge against Edey. Do you think Danny Hurley's game plan will be for them to play fast? Because they can play fast. They can. They just don't elect to all the time. They can play fast. Do you think they'll try to play fast?
I think they're going to pick their spots, but they really haven't done it as much this year. They love their little motion offense in the half court. That is really good. I mean, they get a lot out of it, and I talked about it last night. What Creighton did against them was just stick Kalkbrenner's big ass right in the middle of the lane to clog and catch all those cuts. And they just chased everything and switched it. I think they can do the same with Edey because they don't throw the ball to Clingan on the block and say,
yeah,
like they do with Edey, go get a bucket. Like they'll throw it off dump offs, off dribble penetration, but they're not throwing the ball to Clingan to stop a run. They're going to run their offense. They're going to get the best look, and they don't run a lot of ball screens out of it because Newton's not really he's not really a ball screen guard like a Boo Buie who bothered Purdue. So I think they're going to pick their spots to run. Obviously, UConn can run. They've shown the capability, but they don't have the same depth that they had last year, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think that's one of the crazy. So I'm just going to build the case for how UConn just blows them out of the fucking water. I think if UConn is to just blow them out of the water, exhibit A would be Edey in foul trouble. I think exhibit B would be if Purdue's guards can't shoot.
Yeah.
If they just get completely, if they just shit the bed in the big moment and UConn's guards just eat them up, I think that's another way they get blown out. And I'm going to add in one other one where I think I don't know that this would mean blowout, but it could result in like a UConn 10, 11 point win. And as if Purdue struggles from the free throw line because they are 187th compared to UConn being 85th. Do you think, and then the big one, the elephant in the room, in my opinion, is coaching adjustments, especially at halftime. Like I actually, if Purdue's up at half, I'm buying the fuck in on UConn at halftime. Cause Danny Hurley has a history of making adjustments, and I talk a lot of shit about him, but I think he's one of the best coaches in college basketball at making adjustments. Coach. Yeah. So I would buy if that's one thing, if you're taking Purdue money line, almost like with Bam, I say you take it first half. Maybe you still get it in the game. I don't know, but I can tell you this: if Purdue's up 4, whatever, 1, I'm taking UConn second half. So yeah. Finn Sullivan saying the coaching mismatch is insane. I think that is a key point too. But that's to me the path if UConn blows them out. Not the adjustments. The other three. Foul trouble. Guards fail them, and the free throw line. Would you add in anything else to that, or do you agree with what I just said?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think Purdue. I like Purdue in the first half for sure. Purdue's not really a come from behind team. I know they were able to do it against Tennessee, but they came back in the first half.
In my opinion, they almost have to win the first half because UConn's so good in the second half.
Yes. And they like to play their style of play. I mean, they like to run their offense, go inside out with Edey. I do think that if they're able to run those guys off the 3-point line, a Braden Smith, a Lawyer, Lance Jones has got to make some shots as well. Gillis was big coming off the stretch. If they're not able to make shots, then they're able to clamp down on Edey even more, and that rim gets tighter and tighter. Then it could get away from Purdue, but Purdue's made shots the whole tournament. They've really, that's been the biggest difference between this year and last year. They've shot about 40% as a team from 3-point compared to the last couple of years where they were like 34, 35%. So that's why I'm puzzled by the number. I think these two teams are pretty fucking even when you just look at their
all year really
body of work over the last 2-3 years. If you just throw out the Fairleigh Dickinson game, that's one game out of 70 games now that or 80 games that these two teams have played over the last year. They're pretty fucking even, and they look alike.
Shout out Long Ride is saying, and I love his. What does he got? Just he's got a photo of a can of corn. I can dig it. UConn versus Edey. That's it. Nothing special in Purdue except Edey. If UConn is leading at halftime, it's over. UConn is 45-0 leading at halftime.
Yep.
Is that true? That's a remarkable stat. If so,
and Purdue's pretty good at leading at the half too. So it's like they both like to play from ahead.
Yeah. We're going to talk more about it in a second, folks, but I want to tell you that you are listening to the College Basketball Experience on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. And right now, it's Masters Week, folks. So check out the Golf Gambling Podcast. Those guys are giving away a tailor-made Spider X putter. It's a contest, so hop on over there. Enter for free, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/masters. And once again, attention, San Diego, California. If you're in the area, Sean Stacking the Money Green and Ryan Real Money Kramer are going to a special Circus Sports watch party starting Tuesday afternoon at 4 p.m. at Swing Social. Free drinks for anyone wearing Cubs or Padre gear. Grab a cocktail and say what's up to the guys. Hop on over there. Hop on down to the Whale's Vagina. You have to be in San Diego. Maybe you don't never. Look, I hosted a comedy show in San Diego for a couple years, and you don't ever need a reason to enjoy San Diego. All right. Maybe you're not a Cubs fan, maybe not a Padres fan. San Diego's a great fucking city. So get your ass down there. All right. And go get some free cocktails. Put on a Cubs hat, Padres shirt, something like that. Hang out with Stacking the Money Green, Real Money Kramer, Derek Stevens, all that good stuff. So check that out. All right, we are back, and all right. So now let's build a scenario where Purdue blows out UConn. Is there a scenario where Purdue blows out UConn? And I'll say this too. Now that I'm thinking about it, this is a little off topic. I think this is what, to me, like the most anticipated national championship I can recall in like 5 or 6 years, maybe even 10 years. In my mind, I was thinking about this. Other national championship games were great, but this one, it's like been building to it all fucking year.
Gonzaga Baylor was really anticipated. I feel like we always just forget about it because it was a blowout in the national championship game. But because those two teams were scheduled in the regular season and the game got canceled, and then they ended up meeting each other in the.
But Gonzaga had that crazy half court 3 or whatever, like runner Jalen Suggs 3.
I still think Gonzaga Baylor was the matchup that everybody was, building.
True, but I just feel like they hadn't been as dominant. Like when these two teams had just been so fucking dominant. To me, it reminds me of like a 90s, like one of like the, Duke, UNLV or something, or Carolina, Michigan when they had the Fab Five.
feel like Carolina and Villanova in 2016, both those teams rolled in the tournament up to that point too.
But did they roll as much in the regular season? I know Nova always did, but did Carolina? I feel like
they were one. Actually, Villanova was a 2, but remember Villanova beat Oklahoma by like 1,000 in that Final Four game.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like from like November on, I mean, the only other team you would argue is Houston.
Yeah,
you know, like they
three.
Those three have just been on another level. So to me, it reminds me, and I guess maybe it also reminds me of that because they have the 2 centers. Yep. Just screams like 80s, 90s, like fucking Ralph Sampson going up, going up against Brad Daugherty or some shit. But anyway, is there a scenario where Purdue blows out UConn, Mac?
Yeah, I think there is, actually. I think if Purdue comes out and makes 10, 12, 15 threes and UConn can't throw it in the ocean. So UConn, you're looking at what they did. There's been a narrative going out there that Alabama made shots that they usually don't make. They average 11 made threes. That's what Alabama does. UConn was actually the one that overperformed on Saturday night from the 3-point line. They made 10 threes. They really had not done that. The last time that they made 10 was against Stetson. The next game they made 3. They made, I think, 9 against San Diego State. The next game they made 3. So if there's a big discrepancy in the 3-point line, whether it's Purdue making 12, 13 threes or UConn just can't make any, because I've already talked about it, they're going to take away everything at the rim in the half court with Edey. Edey's just going to stand right at that freaking circle and clog up everything, clog up their cuts. So that they're going to have to beat them from the perimeter with jump shots. And UConn we'll see if they can make back-to-back games making 10+ threes in a football stadium.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a hard time painting a picture where Purdue blows them out by double digits, but I suppose it's possible. Noah, what do you think?
I would say that if the doomsday scenario for UConn would be that both Clingan and Samson Johnson are in foul trouble early and throughout, and that Purdue really can't miss a shot with kind of what Mac was saying. If they are able to hit from outside and, are able to operate in the half court with the big men in foul trouble, where Zach Edey is able to roam freely. I think that's the doomsday scenario.
The cradle model.
Yeah. I said ZD earlier on a show today too. It's getting me hungry. It makes me think of ZT, and enjoy this game, folks, for whatever, we don't have another college basketball game scheduled for another 210 days.
Yep.
God, it's like a year. It's like a fucking whole year. I know I love college football, college baseball, and all of the other sports, but I mean, fuck, that's a long time. I mean, I don't know what else to say besides we built both cases on what we think. I will live bet UConn. I'm taking Purdue in the points. Let's talk a little bit about the total. NC Nick, by the way, who couldn't make it tonight, tried to get him on the show. He's just like BYU. He doesn't do Sundays. And he says lay the 6.5 with UConn. But he also surprisingly likes the over on 145.5. Curious your thoughts on the total, guys. My first reaction was under.
Yeah.
But then if Hurley does decide to run, or if I know UConn doesn't traditionally do that, then I could easily see a scenario where the over cashes. But
I don't think UConn's going to have an issue scoring if that's the angle there.
So maybe over is the play. Maybe everyone's going to be on the under because both unders cashed at that.
I don't know.
Filthy
I think a lot of
NFL stadium.
Yeah. I mean, it's a huge game. A lot of people like to have the over.
Yeah, nobody likes betting unders.
No.
That's the other. I mean, nobody wants to root against missed shots except for us. I'm sticking to the under. It's football stadium.
I'm sticking to the under too.
I mean, and I just talked about like Connecticut made 10 threes the other night. That's not what they really have done. So I think that they come back. They make probably I don't think they're going to make 3 like they have in the regression games. I'll say they make 6. I think Purdue, they made 10 the other night. Maybe they make 8. So I think the game's in the 60s.
Yeah.
I think the under is my favorite play when it comes to your traditional side spread money line. I think Purdue covers, UConn wins. That's my exact 3 pick there.
Yeah, I am on the same, and I'm going to live bet UConn once again if they're down. Might even bet them, even if they're down, even if they're up 2, I still might take them. But folks, we're going to talk more about some props that we like. Talk, some more about some individual stats. But before we do that, I want to tell you that the college basketball experience is brought to you by Cut. Cut is a peer-to-peer social betting platform that's US-based and available in 40 different states. P2P social betting is a new and better way to bet. Bet directly against your friends or other users on sports, politics, pop culture, and other events with verifiable outcomes. Plus, they got a ton of fun social features that give it a feel of a betting social network, so to speak. And Cut offers lower VIG and fully customizable odds. You can create your own bets. And Cut handles the payment side of things, so you never have to chase anyone down in the streets for cashola. So what are you doing, folks? Download the Cut app today or head over to cut.com. That's KUTT.com. Use that promo code SGPN for a 10% deposit bonus. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. I just want to tout a little bit here, because it's what we do. It's really what we do. Let's see. Final Four was Saturday. I threw down a C note. Pick DJ Burns higher than 3 assists, Tristan Newton lower than 16.5 points, Mason Gillis higher than 6 points, and that brought me home 600 smackaroos. That is a perfect example of why Underdog's incredible. So what are you doing? Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. It's also the fastest growing fantasy app in the industry. And pick whether your favorite player will have a higher or lower stat total in this week's game for a chance to win big. You could win 100 times the amount of money you enter in a single night. And pick between 2 and 5 players to build your pick'em entry. And the more players you add, obviously, the higher the odds go. Sign up with the promo code TCESGPN to get your first deposit doubled up to $100, as well as the instant pick'em special. Let's take a look at what we got for tomorrow night's game. Yeah.
Let's do this as a separate segment after the ad. I want to go back to Cut. How many, or what would you set the odds for a Dan Hurley technical foul in the national championship game? Can we list this on Cut?
That's one we should probably list on Cut, but minus 150.
I tried looking up how many career technical fouls or just how many technicals he's had this season. His last one was against St. John's in the Big East tournament. When he wanted to kick the fan out or whatever, and that whole thing. So it's been about a month since his last attack.
I like it. I think he is due. Who wants to get on over to Cut? Check out Cut. Check out Underdog Fantasy. We got you covered here on the college basketball experience. All right, we are back, and we will do it as a segment. I just wanted to mention some things before we delve into that segment, but let's just start off with that segment then, because I have some other stuff out there that I think is interesting. Like there's alt spreads, alt totals, there's a lot of stuff you could. There's how many 3-pointers. There's a lot of fun stuff. Yeah, that's true too. So Underdog Fantasy, promo code TCESGPN. Let's talk about it, guys, because the thing that jumps out to me right away is Zach Edey. Will he get higher than 24.5 points? Now, I feel like he's done it almost. Last game he didn't get 24.5, or he got lower than 24.5, right? Yeah. But like the others, look at his game log right now: 40, 27, 23, 30, 28, 29, 25, 28, 32, 35, 25. So he's been rolling.
I have a different Zach Edey play that I like a little bit better on Underdog.
What's that?
Only because Clingan is a really good post defender. So I don't know if the point production is going to be there. for Edey, but I do think he's a better rebounder, and he's also going to be able to pass out of the post. So you can do a stat combo of his rebounds and assists. I'm taking the higher than 13.5 rebounds and assists. It's 28-10 on the season, and it's hitting 8 straight games.
All right. You sold me. But I'm going to sell you on one.
Shoot.
I personally think Cam Spencer will have more than 13.5 points. I think he's a key player in this game. That is, to me, he's the guy, if I'm Purdue, that I'm terrified of, because not only was he a factor with offensive rebounds the other night, he's to me, he's a guy that gets up in big spots. You saw this at Rutgers. And I think, I know he might not get, sometimes he doesn't get that many looks, but his game log here, 14 points against Bama, 11 against Illinois, but they're up so much. How much time was he actually in the game? 18 points against San Diego State, 11 against Northwestern, 15 against Stetson. So that's his tournament run right there. In the Big East, the game he got a tech and he scored 20 against Patino. I think he's due for a big game. Like, I like taking him in games where the spotlight is on. So I'm going to take the higher on Cam Spencer for UConn on 13.5. Mac, what's a play you like here?
I like the Spencer one too. He's a big game player. I'm going to go to the guy that everybody is shitting on, and I think everybody thinks he forgot how to play basketball. Give me Braden Smith higher than 16.5 points and assists. Shit, I mean, there's been a couple games this tournament where he's almost gone over this with just the assists. I mean, against Gonzaga, 15 assists. I think Painter will make it a point to get him going early, because he's not just going to beat UConn with Edey. Yeah, you're going to need more. I know Edey went for 40 and 20 against Tennessee, and that's what they needed that day. But they're going to need Braden Smith and some of these others to get going as well. I think they get Braden Smith going in some ball screens, because Clingan does struggle at times guarding ball screens. So I think they put Clingan in action, get Braden Smith going to get him some confidence early. So give me higher 16.5 points and assists for Braden Smith.
And I like that in a way, because he just had a shitty game. If you looked prior to before that, against Tennessee, he had 9 and 7. So that would get you over. Against Gonzaga, like you said, 14 points, 15 assists. So he's been getting this, once you get that lemon out of the way, jumping in on it. Bieniek, what do you think of that one?
I like it. I think I'm hoping it's a bounce back game. I do think that there is a world where he does go out there and struggle once again against UConn's perimeter defense. But it's hitting 4 of the last 7 games, and he's been one of the best guards in the country this season. So
I have another one that I love. Mason Gillis higher than 5 points.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't have higher than 5. I had higher than 9.5 points, rebounds, assists.
Oh, I like that too. Because I mean, the guy, he had 8. He didn't score against Tennessee, but he had 8 boards and 3 assists. So he still got over that. Yeah. Actually, maybe I even like that more.
So is that higher than 9.5 points, rebounds, assists? It's 11-1.
That's a lock. That's a fucking lock.
11-1 in the last 12. He's averaging 11.2 points, rebounds, and assists during that 12-game run. And I look at this game like he's not a starter. TKR is the starter. However, I just think that you don't need 2 post players clogging up the paint when Clingan and Edey are already going to be down there. I think given that there's going to be a couple of double teams on Zach Edey, I'm assuming it's going to be a Gillis game rather than a TKR game. So yeah,
that's actually the best one that we've said.
That is my favorite play that I wrote down.
Gillis.
I would say that's. I mean, I don't know if you guys have any others that you really like.
Contrary to, I think, I said I think it's more of a Gillis game and not a TKR game. I took TKR's lower than 13.5 fantasy points. That is 10-2 in the last 12 games here as well. And the only 2 games that he went over, he played 25 and 23 minutes. It was by far the most minutes he's played this postseason so far. And can you guess the 2 games that they were?
Who?
Grambling and Utah State.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So that's a great angle.
That's my second favorite play. They are both like Mason Gillis, TKR. They play the same position. They eat it into each other's minutes. I think it's Gillis game, not a TKR. So I think that's a perfect 2 play. But you needed a UConn pick to throw into it if you're looking to bet that.
Yeah. Any others before I read the next ad here? Mac, you got anything else you like?
I'll go to the other guys. So I'm going with the 2 guys that kind of wore it with the Purdue Fairleigh Dickinson loss. I'm going to go Fletcher Lawyer. I'm going to go higher, 1.5 3-point makes. I think he makes 2 or 3. I think Hurley's not going to let Zach Edey just beat him one-on-one. I think they're going to mix it up, sometimes double the post, sometimes double on the first bounce. I think those guards, Braden Smith and Fletcher Lawyer, are going to have open opportunities. So give me Fletcher Lawyer higher, 1.5 3-point makes.
Yeah, and I thought about that with Lance Jones. Lance Jones made 4 threes the other night against NC State. I know against Tennessee he only went 1 of 4, but every other tournament game he's had at least 2. So that's an interesting one. I wonder how many he shot 9 against NC State.
Yeah.
I don't know. I highly doubt he shoots 9 against UConn, but I still think he might shoot 6, 5, So shout out to David in the chat. What's more ridiculous, Final Four games or UFL being played in huge domes? No, that is a huge problem too. They don't understand that if you're trying to build a fan, look, this is the classic. I know we're going to go off on a tangent here, but if you're trying to build a league, this is like building a nightclub. You ever been to a nightclub where there's a line at the door and you go in, you wait in line and you get inside and there's 4 people there, or the 12 people that you just let in? It's all about selling that. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I would play at all these MLS stadiums and shit. Like, playing at these huge stadiums is stupid. It's stupid. You want to sell that it's a hot ticket. When you watch a game at Ford Field, you sit there and say, no one's there. Why should I go? It's subliminally telling yourself that. No, anyway, just I know that's off the beaten path, but just David says it's like going to an ASU basketball game. Woo! You're gonna make our and look, folks, if you're heading to the national championship tomorrow, make sure you check out Venezia's Pizzeria. Fantastic pizza, fantastic New York style. You get yourself a beer. They got a great beer selection. So get on over there. Check out Venezia's Pizza. It's just fucking fantastic. I could barely pronounce it correctly, but it is awesome. If you're in Arizona in general, David, get yourself out to one. All right. All right, folks, before we get to the end of the show, I want to tell you that we're brought to you by AVO. Yes, we are. We're very proud to partner up with AVO, the premier sports betting arbitrage tool. Look, if you're new to arbitrage sports betting, it's very simple. Basically, betting both sides of a bet at 2 different sports books to lock in profit. All right. Yes, the AVO tool scans sports books looking for basically opportunity, like basically what I just said, the 7.5 point spread 30 minutes ago when I was on Sports Grid, right? It's going to find that. It's going to circle that. It's going to tell you, hey, you're getting 7.5 here, right? You're getting 5.5, 6 here, right? It's going to find these, discrepancies and hook you up. Essentially, it's going to tell you how much money you need to bet at each place to make profit. Essentially, so the tool is super easy to use and it's lightning fast. As speed is a big part of arbitrage sports betting, obviously. And the best part is AVO is currently free to use without restrictions. That's right. Completely free. Get started today at arbsverseodds.com. That's ARBS verseodds.com. All right. We are back. And shout out to Damani, who loves Audi Field as well. Yes, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't. I know, and I do think college basketball suffers from this. To bring it back home to college basketball, it's like at a Final Four. I don't think you're selling the product. I watched that NIT the other night and I thought that is selling college basketball better than the Final Four, in my opinion. The feel you got from watching it sells it better to me. It's like when you watch UNLV played at that new stadium, the fucking Death Star there in Vegas. There's like 12 people there, but you go watch, one of their older games, and it's like actually kind of busy when they're at Sam Boyd. It was actually like kind of packed. I think it sells. TV sells that better, and you're more inclined to say, "Hey, I want to go be a part of that." When you see 4 people at a game, you're just like, I'm okay sitting here at the dive bar a block away. Oh, it's that packed? Seems like a good time. Oh, let me walk on over there, chase some scattered ass. Anyway, guys, this is the end of the road here. I don't know what else to offer besides I'll say this.
Were we doing DFS?
Oh yeah, Jesus, I almost forgot. Yeah, I got a fire DFS line. I'm about to kick you guys out. I won $8 on my DFS lineup the other day. I'm feeling very good about myself.
In the TCE contest?
No, I entered both. I entered the CBB 10K Big 5, and I won 446th place, $8.
If you cash,
hey,
I would have
put that on my grave when I fucking die. Right?
I wish I entered my lineup in a public contest.
Oh, you didn't have enough money to do that?
No, I came fourth in TCE, and I didn't want to enter the same contest in the same lineup in the different contest.
Oh, you got to diversify, buddy. All right.
Well, not with the same lineup, in my opinion. I don't know. Maybe to each your own.
Well, I can tell you either way, my lineup this week is fucking fire. I'm bringing home I'm bringing home $16 this week.
How much money did you have salary left over?
I am loading it up right now, but I had zero. So we have the same roster. I almost feel like we have to have the same roster based on that. My king, though.
Your captain.
I call him King. All right. It's Cam Spencer. I told you, I think he's going to have a big game. A la Scotty Thurman. You know what I mean? It's just, these moments are built for guards that can hit the 3 that are lethal. Donald Williams at North Carolina way back in the day. You've seen so many guys do this that could just hit the big 3. So I kinged him. Mac, what'd you do at the king spot?
I went more by committee. I went Braden Smith. I think Braden Smith has the big game tomorrow. I think everybody's shitting on him. I've already laid it out. So Braden Smith, 13-8 as my king. Let's go.
I do think that's a good leverage play. I don't think he's going to get a lot of action.
No, everybody's hating on the little man.
Noah?
I went with the guy that played well in that first Final Four game. And he really hasn't been like an accumulator of stats most of the season, and he doesn't get as much of the shine as the other guards in the backcourt. I have Stephon Castle. He had a huge game in the Alabama game. He had how many was it? It was a 32.8 fantasy point output there. He's averaging 22.5 fantasy points this postseason. 10.3 points, 5.8 rebounds, 2.6 assists. I think the UConn backcourt is going to eat up Purdue's. So that's kind of foreshadowing some of my other lineup picks.
Yeah. And folks, we invite you to come play DFS with us. We will tweet that out at TCE on SGPN. So hop on over there. Okay. My second guy, I guess from a price point, is Zach Edey. I paid up. I still think he's going to get over 20 points. Probably 14 boards. I just think you got to roster him. I know he's expensive as fuck. Mac, did you roster Zach Edey?
I don't have either of the big fellas. I said,
Okay.
Let's go. Let's get some foul trouble in this game. My next guy was Cam Spencer for the Huskies.
All right, well, we're gonna make that a triple lock then, because I've got Cam Spencer in my lineup too.
There we go.
Unprepared right now.
Now we got a problem.
Cam Spencer. Feels good to hear this music.
I think it's a solid pick for the price point, averaging 31.4 fantasy points in the postseason. You got to roster it, and he's cheaper than the big boys. So,
did you load up on Edey at all?
I have Edey. I faded Donovan Clingan. I don't think the point production is going to be there for Clingan, and I think that Edey is a better rebounder than Clingan is. And I've seen Edey be able to move the ball out of the post more effectively than I have Clingan. So I was like, you know what? He's one of the more expensive guys on the slate. I'm going to fade Clingan, but I do have Edey. I mean, he's averaging 54.8 fantasy points in the postseason. Yeah. You have to have that on your roster, in my opinion, or you have to fade it. I chose to go against Clingan and roster Edey. So it's kind of, I mean, we're all kind of attacking different waypoints. I don't know if Colby faded Clingan, but we've got Mac fading both.
I didn't have Clingan. I couldn't. I mean, look, it's not because I didn't want to.
You can't take both bigs.
I didn't have enough money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Now my third most expensive guy is Lance Jones. Lance Jones. I like the volume of how many threes he shoots every game. So to me, it's like essential that probably two of their guards is hot, puts up points, makes those open shots. I'm hoping it's Lance Jones. Like I say, shot 9 threes against NC State. You give me 9 threes again, I'm happy he's gonna produce then. Anyone else got Lance Jones?
I did take Lance Jones.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's pivotal to their success. So yeah, I ended up rostering Lance Jones as well.
Shout out to Homie Toon saying you guys give the best fucking picks on any platform and it's free. We try, brother. I am 6-1-1 on my UFL plays too. So subscribe to the UFL Gambling Podcast.
Go Redskins.
Yeah, go Redskins. And Bieniek, do you have Lance Jones?
No, I've listed off 3, so I'm even with you guys.
Okay. Well, fourth for me, and this is where it gets dicey, because when you pay up, for Edey,
you got to scramble at the end.
It gets dicey. I'm going with Mason Gillis. Look, I think he's a veteran, and I like his game. I always think he's underrated. And I think he's going to, like Bieniek said, whether it's maybe he won't light up the stat sheet on a scoring per se. Maybe it's 4 points, but he has 7-8 boards, 4 or 5 assists. All right. And a random block shot. All right.
Couple of threes get you the extra half point.
There you go. Mason Gillis at 5,800. Anyone else go with Mason Gillis?
I stayed off Gillis. I thought about it.
I liked the prop, but I think he was a bit too expensive in DFS.
You're making me rethink this. So give me your third player, Mac, or your fourth player. Is this fourth? Fourth.
So I've listed off Braden Smith, Cam Spencer, and Lance Jones. Guy I had up there is kind of the glue guy for the Huskies, Caravan. He kind of just flies under the radar and gets shit done. 14 points the other night, made a couple big threes. He was the one that hit the dagger 3 to really put that thing out of reach and extend it from 8 to 11. Give me Caravan. I think he's 8,200.
Damn, that's your fourth highest. Oh no, I guess I said
he's my third. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I spread the love.
This is like, what'd you get? You're working with $100,000 over here.
I said, fuck those big guys. They're too expensive.
This guy hacked in a code. Select, start, AB, all that contra shit.
The Oakland A's over here. I don't have to you guys, Yankee and Dodger payroll.
Bieniek, who's your fourth guy?
So my captain, I rostered an 11.4K captain in Stephon Castle. So I had enough money to go out and complete the UConn backcourt. I have Tristan Newton as well. 10.2K, 34 fantasy points he's averaging in this postseason. I think that he's going to have his way against Purdue. I think he's the most offensively gifted in the UConn.
He lost his way
lineup
in life. When you see this often, this is like
I don't know if Purdue's going to be able to slow him down.
It's like Elvis when his mom died. Yeah, he lost his fucking way. He was following his dad around. His dad's just a drunken idiot. You know what I mean? And next thing you know, he's doing fucking heroin, shitting in random bathrooms. You know what I mean? Like it's he lost his way.
I would think that somebody would like root for him. Like he's repping East Carolina, you know?
No, fuck all this player empowerment shit. All right. He fucking left ECU for UConn. All right. I've been to Connecticut. Connecticut's as boring as fucking my asshole. All right. So let me tell you something. All right. Greenville is fun. All right. Greenville is fun. What are you doing here? And then I've seen the way Dan Hurley yells at you. You want to fucking, okay, you might win a national championship, but you're not going to have fun. And life's all about having fun. You're fucked up in the head, Tristan. You fucked up. All right.
He's talking about coaches yelling at him when East Carolina had Mark Adams on their staff.
Yeah. Look, she's good. She's good at coaching. And he wasn't there with Mark Adams.
I know.
Come on, that's funny. He kind of looks like a she.
Yeah, careful, Don Staley.
God damn it! Everyone's so serious.
Everybody's so fucking sensitive.
Got Grandma Ma. Don Staley's trying to recruit Grandma Ma.
Yeah, fucking Don Staley's seeing if Zach Edey will play for her next
year. Grandma Ma's getting paid with the granddaughter being rostered on South Carolina. That's what's happening there.
Trying to get
God damn it! Just can't you just sit like it's just everything's so fucking serious. Can't you just sit back and laugh a little, just relax? Yeah. It's so goddamn serious. I feel like the whole state of Connecticut's serious. That's why Tristan Newton's a fucking idiot for going up there. All right.
They get so sensitive when you pick against him. It's like the end of the world.
Yeah. Just come on, relax.
Hurley's got them brainwashed, man. I mean, they're on a nice little run.
There's a cult. He's running a cult up there.
It's a total cult.
I could totally see him. Dude, tell me if you blindly replaced, if you just took his photo and you place that in the middle of a documentary about a cult in Utah, we would all buy it. We would all fucking buy it, or Idaho or some shit. You'd be like, yo, that looks like a crazy fucking maniac.
His wife is the same way. She's talking about the disrespect that their program gets. I'm like, who the fuck is disrespecting your program? What are you talking about? Like everybody just makes up. It's like fucking Kirby Smart. Nobody picked us. What the fuck are you talking about? You won the national championship last year. Everybody
you got that. I remember Mike Leach when he was at Oklahoma. They would create fake newspapers. Bob Stoops to get the team. He would write it up and everything. Young Finn Sullivan, he says this G League semifinal is 100 times better than any NBA game I've seen in the past 3 years. Yeah, dude. I mean, dude, NBA is like at the bottom of my fucking. I'll watch fucking synchronized swimming before I watch fucking NBA. I feel like, I don't know, like it's at the bottom of the totem pole for me. I don't know about you guys. I know Bieniek's got his Pistons and they're having an unbelievable year, and you know, the Bullets aren't the Bullets anymore. That DC basketball has been killed ever since the Bullets went away.
You know, it sucks because like at least when the Redskins and Bullets sucked, we gotta say at least we had good names. Now we're the Wizards and Commanders, and then we still suck. So it's like we suck and we have a shit name.
Yeah, the fucking Pittsburgh basketball team is better than Detroit.
Oh yeah,
Duquesne.
There you go. Yeah, in college too.
I just love the angle of like, I mean, the Commanders is so fucking lame. And I would argue that Commanders probably kill way more people than essentially the Native Americans that they're referring to, even though they weren't, you know, that was Native American did the logo. A lot of people don't realize that a Native American did the logo after another Native American. Stupid. I could do an hour on this, but also having the Bullets because the murder rate go to the Wizards and the head of the fucking KKK is known as the Grand Wizard. What in the fuck? We're so stupid. We are the dumbest fucking never listen to anyone on name changes. All right. Cause it's so stupid. It's so, how does no one ever
Can we name change in the DFS lineup to the fifth name?
No, I'm still going to do this. Let's fucking talk. Let's talk about this. They take all of our fucking teams away. You got rid of the George Washington. So DC lost those two. They lost the fucking George Washington Colonials for the fucking Revolutionaries because Colonials is offensive. You fucking losers. Someone needs to take a blowtorch to that fucking campus. Oh my God. Like everyone's a moron. Everyone's a fucking moron. It's just a way a sound comes out of your fucking mouth. Oh my God. I don't know. We could. What if Vikings rape and pillage for fucking 500 fucking years, and they just get a pass? You condoning rape by rooting for the Minnesota Vikings? Are you condoning rape, Noah, by rooting for the Minnesota Vikings?
What if when these teams were just founded in the area that we call our nation's capital's region, in the DMV area, what if they just chose normal animal names? Then none of this would ever be talking.
No, you should have cool names. Like
history, tradition, culture.
That's what I'm saying. I completely disagree with that shit. All right. Yeah.
Zach's problem. Go behind the stage again. Your
guys.
And fucking pirates raped and pillaged for fucking forever. It's like we can go one by one. Nashville Predators chat's talking about that. What are you saying? You trying to fuck with the, like, we could go one by one of this. One by one. It's all stupid. The Fighting Irish. Well, every Irish person's a fucking I'm Irish. Oh, I'm fighting. I don't like that. We're peaceful people. Anyway,
I believe it.
Yeah. It's just so stupid. It's all so stupid. Someone pass me the shotgun. I'll fucking blow my brains out right now. It's just stupid. The more you think about it, it's just so fucking stupid. Anyway, I have two other guys on this roster.
Yeah, we all do.
And they're not stupid. They're awesome because they're going to win me a bunch of fucking money. And they're not Tristan Newton. All right.
I can't believe that led you on a 7-minute rant.
Because it doesn't make any sense. There's no consistency. And here's what's hilarious from my experiences, which granted, I've not been to every goddamn Native American reservation, but I've done stand up in a lot, right? A good chunk. And it's one of the first questions I ask. One of the first questions I fucking ask is, dude, let me ask, is the Redskins' name offensive? And they say, I give a shit about that. How about you help us out? We got like 10,000 missing people. No one gives a shit, but it's just, hey, just white people feeling guilty. But I got news for you. That history's still there. It's crazy. Anyway, let's go. I fucking hate the world. It's just so stupid. It's just we can go. Yeah. And I'm talking about, like, there's so many fucking teams we could talk about too that have names that,
if TC ever went corporate and we were on cable, we would fuck this shit. Like having to meet deadlines by segment times. Oh, we'd be screwed.
Yeah. I mean, well, I'll never go corporate because they'll find this clip and say, yeah, let's not hire that guy. Let's not hire that guy.
The last thing we're going to have to do is worry about meeting the deadline.
They'll have a meeting. They'll have a meeting and they'll say, that guy with the gap tooth, what's his name? Corey? Let's not hire him. Dick Dundee.
First time anyway. They say UT Rio Grande and I come and say the Mexicans.
It's so fucking stupid. I hate everybody. I'm telling you, I think about it. I think about this way too often. Sometimes I'm like watching a game and I think about it. I go, what the fuck are we doing? Like, this is just stupid. It's just wasted energy. It's wasted fucking energy. Not like this show. This show is not wasted energy. Subscribe to the College Basketball Experience. Anyway, my second to last.
It might be wasted energy for the listeners because I'm going to win this DFS contest.
See about that, buddy. Because I went out and rostered the great Hassan Daria. I like to say I like to say diarrhea. Yeah.
I got diarrhea.
Yeah. Dude, this guy, he's coming off. I love this nugget. He's coming off a fresh 0 points, 4 fouls.
Hey, but defense.
But he had 11 points the game before. All right, and 3 boards and 2 assists. God damn it, he's complete against San Diego State. 10 points, 4 boards, 4 assists. So he's a senior. It's the last time he's ever going on the hardwood. All right, so he's not going to have another 0 point performance and 4 fouls. He's gonna get it going.
Colby,
right?
do you know if he has a COVID year?
That's a good thing. I feel like
probably. Everybody got
there's something, but trust me, Danny Hurley's got something up his sleeve. Yeah, you roster him too, Mac, or no?
Yeah, he was my last pick. A little bounce back. I like him.
Go.
He's a vet. He was on the team last year. He's played in this game, so he was cheap. I took him. He knows his role, so he's gonna be a good 6-man for me.
Yeah, I liked it. He's gonna. I think he might even score double digits. He's due. Yeah, he's due. Bieniek, who's your second to last guy?
Cam Edey of Purdue. He's a bench player, but he's good for a 3 every now and then. He's averaging 8.4 fantasy points during the postseason. So at 3.6K, it was a nice cheap play.
I like it. Final player for me, and this is I'm hoping for foul trouble. And when I say hoping for foul trouble, I say I'm hoping for actually kind of foul trouble for both, because I think Gillis will get more minutes if Edey, but I have Edey on my team, so I'm rooting for UConn foul trouble because let me talk to Samson Johnson is my final guy at 4,400. Look, I know he's not some scoring champ, but I mean he's gonna get major minutes if he can get in. If Clingan can get into foul trouble here. So even with that, he's still averaging about 16, 17 minutes a game, even without that. So he scored 10 against Illinois, 7 against Alabama, had a couple blocks. It's worth the shot. Bieniek, I take it you don't have him.
No, I don't. Does Mac have him?
No, I thought about him, but then I realized his final stat line is going to be 8 minutes, 5 fouls, and that's what he's going to finish with against Edey. My final spot was Fletcher Lawyer. I took all the white guys. It feels like going back and looking at my roster. So
we'll start calling you the Wizards.
Yeah, we got Washington Wizards with Braden Smith, Cam Spencer, Fletcher Lawyer, and Alex Caravan. Let's go.
There are honestly plenty of white guys in this final.
There's a lot of white guys in this game.
Yeah,
fucking Clingan.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to a black guy though to finish off my roster. I'm going
wise move.
Miles Colvin of Purdue.
See,
off the bench, averaging 6 fantasy points per postseason game. He's also capable of hitting a 3 at any point. So if he gets in,
let me tell you something. DFS 101 here. If I'm teaching this class at DGen University, only do 1 white player per DFS lineup. All right. I have Cam Spencer and only Cam Spencer. All right. So Mac, you're fucked. You have way too many white guys.
Caucasians are having a strong showing tomorrow night. There's a strong ratio. They're saying basketball's back. Pete Maravich, baby. Bill Walton.
I have 2 white guys, but they both have the same name. Cam and Cam. Cam Spencer, Cam Edey. Zach Edey, Asian, Canadian, and then 3 black guys. So
you're fucked. You're fucked.
Some might think this is Bellarmine versus Northeastern tomorrow night with UConn
and let me tell you something. If you were to just if you used a shitty camera and put it out on the NEC network, I think it might actually fit. I mean, the stadium's too big though. I don't know how you fake the stadium.
I love how Colby goes, if you use the shitty camera, and we got Mac looking into it.
I don't know what happened. My camera disconnected. They canceled me as soon as I took all those Caucasians.
No, it was probably my rant. It was probably my rant. Yeah.
Before we get out of here, let's do a first touchdown bet, aka first field goal. Who scores first?
Who wins the jump ball? Edey?
I don't know if you can bet on that, but yeah, I would take Edey too.
Well, we're just trying to guess on who would have the first shot at scoring. Yeah, Zach Edey. No, that's too easy. Lance Jones hits a 3 in the corner. Fuck you. All right, let's go. You take it, Mac.
Going down with the ship here, baby. Braden Smith gets it going. They run a nice little ball screen to get him going. Braden Smith, first field goal from the elbow.
How is he 9th on this list?
Because he just fucking shit himself and everybody thinks he sucks now.
He's the point guard. I mean, they'll probably just roll him off a ball screen and he'll take a 3, or he's passing it to Edey for the bucket. It's probably the first play. That's probably the first play against Clingan that they probably run. I'm gonna differ from you guys just because I feel like we've been all over.
You notice how the Wizard stayed white. He stayed white even at that spot.
Oh man,
fucking asshole. Where are you going? No, I'm sorry.
I'm going with the point guard of the other team. Give me Tristan Newton at plus 850 for the first field goal.
Oh, you're filthy. You're fucking filthy. All right.
Supposed to be the Purdue guy. He took a UConn guy when he knows Edey's going to win the jump ball.
I don't know though. Like Edey's a staple. Clingan's a beanpole, but he might have a longer vertical.
It's staple versus staple. They're just both 7'4" and 7'3" staples.
Yeah. It
you
takes
can be
me
a
back.
staple when you're 7'3".
Yeah, it takes me back to that Redskins name change bullshit. You know what I mean?
Was there any other betting market thing that you wanted to cover, Colby?
No, I was just saying, man. You guys fucked it up, man.
Before we
you gotta change the name, but every owner's at Epstein Island, Bieniek.
We get out of here,
the problem's not the owner; it's the fucking name. Owners.
Before we get out of here, this has to be stated. Wes Moore of Fox 16 in Little Rock is reporting that multiple sources are telling him Arkansas has zeroed in on John Calipari being the next Razorbacks' new head
Shut
coach.
The fuck up. They're going to buy out $40 million. Musselman left because they had no NIL.
It's got a million views on the tweet, and I mean he looks credible. It doesn't look like it's a parody account.
They're going to pay the $40 million.
The rumor is that Musselman burned every NIL relationship in Fayetteville. Like he burned every bridge there. So I don't think they're fucking forking over this amount of money. Like I know they got
what is the NIL? I mean, look, they do have Walmart money. That's right.
The Walmart
and the
money.
Chicken Company, Tyson's fucking chicken.
Wait, Tyson's from there?
Yeah, they got murders. Look, the whole Clinton's been murdering people there for fucking 50 fucking years, man. Do a deep dive on that shit. Yeah.
Maybe the Clintons are the one buying it.
That's what I'm saying. They got black ops dropping drug money right over Fayetteville, right over that stadium. Anyway, that would be kind of wild. Yeah. That would be kind of wild. If so, we might have an emergency podcast for that. Folks, we are the college basketball experience.
There's no way
it needed to be stated. Yeah. It's going around. It was tweeted out 45 minutes ago.
I love how you said he has this many followers, so it means he's credible. No, from my experience,
no, I didn't say that.
Case. Yeah,
I didn't say how many followers. I said views on the tweet. So a million people have viewed it.
Okay.
He works for Fox 16 in Little Rock. That was what I said makes him credible.
Yeah.
So who knows?
They'll probably air this episode on Fox 16 in Little Rock, and I guess that means we work for Fox 16.
It's credible because the college experience is talking about it.
Yeah. Anyway, folks, we're the college basketball experience. Let's enjoy the national championship. We'll be live after the game. Talk about the champ tomorrow. All right. Until next time, give Moneyline Mac a follow on Twitter at Moneyline_Mac. Check out the Big 12 experience and the Ryan and Rush show. Check out Noah Bieniek on Twitter at NoahB77_ and the college baseball experience. Check out me on Twitter at the Colby D. Check out the college football experience, the UFL gambling podcast, the sports gambling podcast, the CFL gambling podcast, the FCS college football experience, and the Frozen 4 episode we did. And God damn it, I'm like Ric Flair promoting over here. Until next time, folks, this is the college basketball experience. You better start thinking about yours. And we are out of here.
Mailbox 1. 7. Mitchell 1.
I'm not saying I'm impossible to outsmart my body and soul, or nothing without heart. And I'm not saying I'm impossible to outrun my body and soul, or nothing without love. And I'm not saying I'm impossible to outdo my body and soul, or nothing without truth. And I'm not saying it's impossible, but you're nothing without yourself. With the obsession to be a part of that, started that. Mind over matter don't matter in the market. I've seen much smarter cats have heart attacks, largely because leaders need lambs to be lethargic. Match wits with the half-wit phantom. I don't need jumper cables or mic cords to analyze an analytical anthem between my two ears, an engine pumping the life force. Force field for your grip on the grievance. Still gonna feel unchallengeable and stiff. So arrange the pieces to prepare cohesive. All the hard work will go largely ignored if your hands are covered with post-its and paper cuts. You need to have your voice in the vice grip. The one who made it famous ain't the one who made it up. You don't get overtime just for working the night shift. I'm not saying I'm impossible to outsmart mind, body, and soul, nothing without heart. And I'm not saying I'm impossible to outrun mind, body, and soul, nothing without love. And I'm not saying I'm impossible to outdo mind, body, and soul, nothing without truth. And I'm not saying it's impossible, but you're nothing without yourself. Every time I close my eyes, I'm taken to the same place, a playing field, and every contestant's got the game face. Everybody's yelling, you ought to play it safe. Make sure them shoes are tied and ankles tape. Shake the cobweb, hit the ground running. This is how cunning I can get with the footwork. You're doing it right, well, it shouldn't hurt. Flirt with greatness, still I run the famous. Nice high heels, I got mics for spikes. Trampling the home team and the turf for life. For the few fleet of foot, too fast for me. I fear